Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Adult Game Reviews. Welcome to part 2 of my tier list. If you haven't seen part 1, you can check that out after the video. If you like the video and want more content like this, please like and subscribe. Also, let me know where you would rank games down below. And FYI, if you do not want to see the NTR section, I have that labeled at the very end so people can avoid it if they want to. Okay? Let's jump into it. Hush Hush. Only your love can save them. And the only reason this is on my list is because I played it not too long ago because I miss it. Male MC with mostly female love interests. There is one queer character, it's dating sim adventure game. Hush Hush is quite literally the best dating sim I've ever played. It is so good. There's voice acting. The story is fantastic. You really feel the pressure because if you make the wrong decisions, the love interest can die, and you can die. It is so damn good that it is easily in the S tier for me. It is right along par with Eternum and BAD, and it does not get enough love, I think. I absolutely love Hush Hush. It is so good in so many ways. The only thing that drops it down a tiny bit for me is you need a guide. If you do not use a guide, it's going to take you a billion years to play through it. But the idea of a light and dying on you, it is. I absolutely love Hush Hush. It is so good in so many ways, and I really wish it had. It should be discussed in this upper echelon with every other game, with all these other games. You're not a fan of game over type events? I love them. I absolutely love them. I will go through and try to get absolutely every game over event. Hush Hush is also expensive. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I don't say that very often, but it is worth it. I love it. I like to feel consequences of my decision. All right, let's move on to Snowstorm. Oh, Snowstorm. My review of that just came out today. It's by Gleanex Games, male MC, visual novel, choose your own adventure, Viking slice of life. And Snowstorm, I thoroughly enjoyed. There's one downside that I think, Rob, your head should not explode here. But the one thing that keeps it, I think, from being in the S or even the A+ tier for me is the emotional scenes. Look at the games at the top. You get Eternum, I've cried. You get BAD, I've cried. You get Hush Hush, I've cried. Cross Realms, not quite. Maybe I should drop Cross Realms because of that. Chasing Sunset, yep, I've cried. Race of Life, I've teared up a little bit. Intertwined, teared up. Companion of Darkness, teared up. That's my gauge for half the shit. So, okay, yeah, I'm gonna drop Cross Realms. I love Cross Realms, but I'm gonna drop it into A+ tier. I'm being picky because again, it is emotionally. I did not think Snowstorm was nearly as good emotionally as these other games. I think it was right along par though with like Best, where it's like, did I tear up or cry with anything in Best? No. I didn't feel the emotion there whatsoever. Or nearly as much, right? But I think it was very good in every other way. Kind of like I think Best is very solid in every other way. I think Snowstorm does virtually everything well. The writing could be a bit better, just like Best. So there we go. We got Stranded in Space by Wildman Games. Male MC, visual novel, sci-fi space dating sim. I think this and My Dorm are basically like the same game in many ways, except sci-fi. Again, I don't want to put down either one of those games because I think they're all along the lines of no consequences for the love interests, right? But I think Stranded in Space's story takes a long time to get going. And if I'm going to ding MBML for what it is early on, I got to do the same for Stranded in Space. I'm almost done with Stranded in Space, but I have not finished it because there's just a ton of content. And because of that, I think it actually is right along the lines with My Dorm when I think about it. Do I think Stranded in Space is better than My Dorm? I personally do, but the slow at the beginning, I think really hurts it. So, oh man, I don't know where, I'm going to jump around because I'm like, the beginning hurts it. I think it just goes in B-. Do I think its story eventually picks up and it goes in B+? Yes. I guess that means it's going to go right there with My Dorm. Probably above Elmwood. Maybe above Alive. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it goes. So yeah, I think, again, having to take the whole game into account can be a little rough. Next, so the next one we got Profiler. And Profiler is by Dive Bar Studio, male MC, visual novel, detective slice of life. And damn, did I want to like this game. I really, really, really wanted to like this game. But I can't. The writing was not great early on. I thought it just did not make a whole lot of sense. I think Profiler is going right there in C tier with Glowing Stones. Can you enjoy it if you don't care about the writing? Yes. But I thought the writing was weak enough where it actually really, really hurt it. But that's me. All right. I see people still wanting to Profiler. Did I think Profiler was trash, Mac? No, I don't think it was trash. I don't think it was an obvious like a cash grab. I just didn't think it was that good, and I think a lot had major issues, but there was some things that I think it did okay. All right, and that Summer's Gone. I jumped in not too long ago because I wanted to see how many things have changed, and again, not taking the development cycle into account. I wanted to make sure I'm doing that. Yes, Rasser is technically correct. This isn't an adult game anymore. This is a visual novel, and don't get me wrong, it's an interesting visual novel. No, Big Bad, there's not. Not the last time I played. And so, do I even rank this? Do I even put this in this tier list? Because it isn't really an adult game anymore. Are there now? Did they add some in? What I am going to put this in, and I'm going to cop out. I'm going to put this in the too soon for me, because I played a little bit of this recently, but I didn't see what you're talking about. If you're telling me there's stuff in here, I'm going to put it in here because I have not played the most recent rewrite to its completion. And if people are going to come after me because people love Summer's Gone. They love it. They would fall on their sword for Summer's Gone. And I don't think it's that good. I love Nami. Nami is one of my favorite characters in any game, but with all the rewrites, it's hard to keep track of them. So I'm going to put that into too soon for me right now. There's not enough adult content in Summer's Gone for it to be worthwhile to me. Okay. All right. So let's move on to I Was a Teenage Vampire by Fatal Masterpiece. Visual novel, male MC, horror, slice of life. I absolutely love I Was a Teenage Vampire. I think it's great. I can't wait for more content. I think it's very early, but it is so good of what's there. I'm gonna rate this because I don't think it's too soon. It does have a more content out, but I think that I Was a Teenage Vampire belongs in the A+ tier. Yes. This time I actually agree with you, Jacome. It is for what it is. I love the 80s vibe. I love the setting. I love how the music, I love how it does everything where you are watching it's an 80s movie. It's great. I think it's fantastic. If you haven't played it, I think there was an update that just recently came out, so you can check that out. All right. Any other thoughts on other than it's amazing? I like it because if you can handle horror, like I don't think it's that scary, but I know some people are sensitive to that. Yeah, it's really good. All right, moving on to Streaming for Love. Streaming for Love by Lovejoint. Male MC, slice of life, kinda. I have yet, and this might be a hot take, but I have not been more disappointed by a game in a long time than Streaming for Love. The Lovejoint did a great job with its marketing, but it was incredibly misleading and it pissed me off. I was upset. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty chill. I don't get upset that often. So if you don't know the premise, it's after Lovejoint's last game, Shale Hill Secrets. You're talking about their new game. And man, Streaming for Love, you start off at I think it's a marketing company, something like that. It's advertising, whatever. And you have two girls to pick from. You have your co-worker who's the smart, attractive, really likes you, and then you have the streamer. And the problem is that you are told in the marketing that you're basically choosing between the two girls. What's actually happening is that you're stalking the streamer girl in Streaming for Love because she turned you down. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's the whole premise. And I have not been more upset in any game in a long time, and that's going into the D tier for me. The reason I'm not putting it in trash, the only game I put in trash is if there's no hope. Like, legit. No hope. And unfortunately, fortunately, there is a little bit of hope. Could I see it improving with future updates? Maybe. People might argue with that, but you go on a date with the Streaming for Love, with the streamer, right? You go on a date with her, you have a good time, you contact her, and someone has sabotaged you where she breaks up with you, even though you had a good relationship, and you're like, this isn't because she doesn't like me, it's because of outside forces who you believe it's her manager. And so she dumps you. And I'm like, that really sucks. Is it, if this were a romantic comedy, are you going to go fighting for her? Maybe, but she turned you down. Now you're just kind of, it's bordering into the creepy range for me. And I am not okay with that, especially, but if that was part of the flavor, if that was part of the draw, then I'd be like, okay, you know what? You put this in there, I can avoid it. But no, I was very upset. All right, next is That New Teacher from Rogue One. Visual novel, male MC, power dynamics, kind of corruption. I played a good chunk of this. I streamed a bit of it, and I played a good chunk of it. And what I played was absolutely ridiculous. You got to be careful. Some of the character models look, the reason I didn't put it on YouTube was some of the character models look a bit suspect. You get my drift, right? It reminds me of, oh man, the Headmaster. Reminds me of the Headmaster a little bit. It's kind of similar premise as the Headmaster, which I like the Headmaster. It is a dumb game, but I really, really enjoy that one. That new teacher, I think, has potential, but I do have to give it a little bit of negative for the writing. I'm going to put that in, well, where am I putting this? That new teacher, I'm probably putting it, I don't think it's as good as my dorm. I think it's right there in B for right now. I think it could go up though, because I think the visuals are okay. They can look a little off. The writing can be a bit off. The story is kind of ridiculous, but it was enjoyable for the most part. So I'm going to put it in B for right now. The story is great, but I think a lot of the other stuff technically holds it back. And so we'll see if that improves over time. Another game on the list that I'm going to be going through here pretty soon is kind of similar, but we'll get there. Next is Long Road Home. This is a biker game, male MC, and by OBD Games. And this is another one that kind of reminded me a bit of like my dorm. A little bit of Stranded in Space. I don't think it's as good as those games, but I think it's right along those lines. I mean, no, one of you guys, I think Rasser, you played all the way through this, right? I have not finished the content, but I've gotten, from what I can tell, maybe like halfway. Oops. But I know people, like, if you like the style of my dorm where there's zero consequences, you basically are just jumping around, you'll like this game. So for me, I'm gonna put it probably into B tier, probably below, yeah, probably at the bottom of B tier, but it's still B. Like, these are all B games. It's just, you know, we're splitting hairs. That's kind of where I put it. I like to have consequences, but that's just me personally. I also think some of the character models can look real rough, personally. But I did also like some of the character models. So I think B is, it's kind of solid. It's very solid, but nothing special. Neverwhere Tales. Let's get into it. The Neverwhere Tales by CEO Dev. Isekai Fantasy. Neverwhere Tales. What do you like? By Seolag? There we go. I love the Neverwhere Tales. I absolutely love the Neverwhere Tales, but it starts real rough. Like, honestly, the very first chapter of the Neverwhere Tales was difficult at times for me to get through because of the pacing, because of the visuals at times, because of the story itself. And I think that's where the Neverwhere Tales really is rough for me, is the pacing in general. But every single time I play it, every time I played the last update, it gets better and better. It's like, it gets better and better. But like for all of these, if we were just taking into account what I thought with the last update, MBML would be up there at A+ S tier, right? But I had to drop it to B+ because you got to take the beginning into account. And the Neverwhere Tales, I think, gets better and better, but the pacing is rough. So I'm putting the Neverwhere Tales into A-. I think it's right along with Law School, where it's really good, but there's some issues that I have difficulty with. One scene hits you hard, you almost gotta cry. Oh, the Neverwhere Tales. Oh, you're right. Ooh, if I'm gonna stick to my, yeah, I did. Ooh, where am I putting this? Yes, did I get a bit of a tear up? I did. All right. Then I got to put that in A. Yep. If I'm gonna use my did I cry as a gauge, I gotta bump it up a little bit of a tier. The beginning is rough though, and that's why I don't think it's in the A+ or S. So I think A matters. All right. Next is The Awakening by Slim Games. Visual novel, male MC, amnesia story, slice of life. There were issues with The Awakening. Like, some of the story just did not make sense, but I liked it. I had fun with it. I thought it was really interesting from what I played, but is it objectively good? Not really. It's okay. Like, it's okay from a technical standpoint. The visuals are decent. The writing is a mess. But did I have fun with it? Yes, I did. But did I like it more than Glowing Stones? Yeah, I did. Did I like it more than Forbidden Fantasy? I did. Did I like it more than Friendship with Benefits? I did not. So it's going to go there in B- for me. Friendship with Benefits. Actually, I think Friendship with Benefits. Oh man, I think Friendship with Benefits should go up here because I've played through a good chunk of it, but I played in different, like, disjointed amounts, and that's Euphoria by Drifty. Male MC, slice of life, mystery, kinda. Like, I was surprised with Euphoria a little bit, and this isn't necessarily me dunking on Drifty, but when you have a game like Leap of Faith, you set expectations, right? And so you expect that there's going to be some emotional impact. And I didn't really see any in Euphoria. I didn't really feel any emotional impact whatsoever. And is it hard to follow Leap of Faith? Yeah, I think it's virtually impossible to follow Leap of Faith. And that's why I'm kind of glad he went in a different direction a little bit with it. But I didn't enjoy Euphoria nearly as much as I enjoyed some of the other games on this list. Is there still time? Yes, but the writing is not as good as Leap of Faith. And that, I think, is kind of a problem for drifting. Or B for the story and S for the gals. No matter what he does, but I like Euphoria. It's solid A for you. I've enjoyed Euphoria, but I haven't loved Euphoria. And I'm trying to think of other games on this list. Like, I think it goes right there because I like MBML, No Such Luck, Mythos, and Between Two Worlds about the same as Euphoria. MBML I like more than a lot of these games on this list, but you can't ignore the technical stuff. So yeah, I think Euphoria goes right there. All right, I did this to myself, and I know I'm gonna get some laughs, but I jumped back into Villain's Legacy because people were like, hey, give it another shot. It's not as bad as you think. And not only is it not as bad as I thought, it's worse. I fucking hate this game. I absolutely hate Villain's Legacy. I hate it. I can't help myself. Like, I do not think this game is good in virtually any way. Visually, I think it's kind of a hot mess. I think some of the characters can look okay. I think the mechanics are bad. I think the writing is bad. Like, I do not like this game, and I've gonna put it in trash for me. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Like, this is where I'm like, is Villain's Legacy just a D tier game? Does it actually belong in D tier? I feel like the D tier games, oh man, I feel like Follow the Leader should be in trash tier if I'm gonna put that in there. Do I think Follow the Leader is trash too? I think I enjoyed Follow the Leader more than I enjoyed Villain's Legacy, even though they're about the same. Yeah, I don't. Oh man, you feel like it's really harsh. Did I enjoy Villain's Legacy at all? No, I didn't. Do I think it's technically worse than some of these other games? I think I put it in C tier the last time I played it and I jumped back in, and I think I'm going to drop it to D tier. Is there stuff that I could see people enjoying? Sure. Playing the villain is sometimes fun, but a lot of the stuff about this game I think could have been done differently or better. So no, and see, that's the thing. Trash is trash. It isn't just absolute cash grab shovelware. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it is just below average in many ways, and I don't think it's a very good game. But do I think it's a scam? No, I don't. So, yes, I feel like the fair place to put it is probably in D tier, even though I really disliked it, if you can't tell. Yeah, Shattered Minds villain play is better. I like Shattered Minds villain play better, personally, than Villain Legacy. Even though that feels bad because I feel like it was perfect for it. But anyway. All right, let's move on to Zero End. All right, Zero End by Stolen Rose. Male MC fantasy horror. I love Zero End. I thought it was great. And if you like, see, that's the thing. I know more people that dislike horror than any other type. And I think Zero End was really good. I think it probably belongs in the B plus or A minus range for me. There's some issues with it that I had, where I feel like the spicy content was very limited. I think some of these other games do a lot better. I feel like the visuals were good. I feel like the story was really unique, and I love the Cthulhu-like setting. I think Zero End is an A minus game for me at the moment. Do I think it was better than Kaiju Princess? Personally, yeah. Do I think it was better than Law School? Maybe. I think they're around. I think all this tier right here, like these four right there, are all solid A minus. I don't think I can really pick a difference. I like it. I think Zero End is A minus for me. You think Zero End is better than Law School? I think they're too different. I think they're too different to really compare. That's why I like breaking down the tiers into the A minus. I think Zero End for a horror game is very, very good. Do I think like Law School and Zero End are like apples and oranges? I don't think I can compare the two with that. I just think technically, I think it's very, very good. Now, New Horizons. People have been wanting me to review this for a long time, and I'm going to. Don't get me wrong. I just haven't quite gotten to it fully yet. It's by Kawai Sukebe. I'm terrible with Japanese, so don't hurt me. Streaming this was rough because I could not pronounce the damn words. But let's see if I can find it. Okay, so Male MC, kind of a mystery. New Horizons. This is one of these games that's really fun. I really enjoyed what was there. The writing is rough at times. It can be kind of disjointed. The English in general, the writing hurts it. But I did enjoy it enough that I think it is a pretty fun, solid game at the moment. I might enjoy it more when I finish it. But for now, I'm going to put it into... wrong one. I'm going to put it into B tier. I think it's better than Stranded in Space, Alive, Elmwood, stuff like that. At the moment, I like a lot of the games in B plus tier better. Do I think it's better than Sinner's Landing? Actually, I do. So let me put that here, and I'm gonna put that into B+. I think New Horizons, if the writing was better, it would easily be an A tier for me. But I enjoy the story. I think it's really unique and fun, and I think the girls are badass. There's some awesome girls in New Horizons. But it's fun. New Horizons is a fun game, but there's problems. R-Red String. R-Red String, I played the last update. I'm currently up to date with R-Red String. I love R-Red String. It is fantastic. I think Eva Kiss is really good at certain things, right? I feel like I enjoy the male MC more than I like the female MC. So if you played R-Red String, it is a male and female MC. You kind of switch between the two. I think it is a solidly written game. There's a ton of choices in it. I feel like there's consequences with those choices. I feel like you're really growing with the characters. I'm playing a full playthrough where I'm actually don't have the female MC and the male MC dating, which has been fun. And just seeing how different it is. I feel like R-Red String is an A+ game. I really, really enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. And you have to enjoy the visual style. Do I think it's better than like Good Girl Gone Bad? Yes, 100%. I think it's better across the board. But this is kind of more dating sim in many ways and slice of life than anything else. So I think R-Red String is right up there with some of the A+ games. I think it's fantastic. And I do think like you could tell how much effort Eva Kiss really puts into the branching storyline. There's a lot of games that try to do the branching storylines and it just does not make sense, but she's done a very good job with it. So I'm very happy with it. Wildcats by Lopify, male MC slice of life volleyball. I love Wildcats. Wildcats might be one of my, if not my favorite new game on the list, if not my favorite of this, of a lot of the new games on this list. Issue I have is it's still really early. So I don't want to take development cycle into account, but there's not quite enough to really get a good sense of if it's going to continue to be as good as it is. So I think Wildcats is another A+ game. I think it could easily be in the S tier. Like I think the characters are great. I think you really understand the male MC and his issues, and he's not a goody two shoes, but he's not a complete a-hole. Like I think he's trying to grow, and even the content that we have right now, you see a character arc with the male MC. That's awesome. There's many games out here where the character MC there's no arc. He's just a flat line, and Wildcats is fantastic. I think it could jump into S tier with future content. It is fantastic. I love it. Next, The Curse of the Pearl Necklace by Mr. Pocket Rocket. Male MC detective slice of life. This is going to be my next review. So I haven't decided if I'm going to be breaking up this into part 1 and part 2 for YouTube just because of how long each one of these are, even if I cut it up. But I think I have one chapter to go. And I streamed it after the very beginning of it. It has improved quite a bit. I think the character, the male MC himself, is kind of a dumbass early on, but you see a character arc with him too. I think right now it does everything well, but nothing particularly great if you look at it. So look, for instance, the music is fantastic. The story is good, but nothing about it blows me away yet. So for right now, I'm going to put that solidly into I'm going to put it into A or A minus. I think it's A minus right now. Yes, that's correct, Mac. They've changed the name because before I could not put that on YouTube, but The Curse of the Pearl Necklace is probably a gray line for me. But right now it's been getting better and better, and I've really enjoyed the old school feeling detective. The issue that I have with it is the time period. It's like he's supposed to be this old school 1920s detective, but yet he went to Vietnam. Bit weird. That to me kind of throws off a bit of the story, but in general, I think it does a lot of stuff very, very well, and it's a fun game. It's very fun. Do I think it's better at the moment than Zero End Law School? No, but I think it's close. I think it's close to getting there. All right, we got Project Passion. And if you know Project Passion by Classy Lemon, visual novel, male MC, sci-fi. How many people in here have not played Project Passion? I feel like everyone's played Project Passion. The only reason that it is not S tier for me is simply because of chapter 2. Oh, what's up, Shadow? Yep, you're late. It's okay. Project Passion, there's 2 chapters, or 2, not chapters. What is it? Books or acts? I forget what it is. Seasons released. The only issue that I have that drops it down a little bit for me is you would have these relatively meaningful, connected, emotional scenes that would completely be broken in the second chapter, or whatever it is, second book, by spicy stuff. And I'm like, okay, I thought the first book was very good. I thought the second one was really funny. I enjoyed it. I thought the second one was almost funnier than the first chapter, but I thought the story wasn't as good. I feel like you jumped around a lot, and I felt like it was kind of, you meandered a bit. But it's so close to being S tier that I think A+ tier is still along the lines of some of these other games. I feel like It might have been S tier early on, but A+. I don't even think I put it in S tier before. I think it's an A+ game right now. It's very, very good, and you're going to enjoy it. All right, my most controversial one on the list, maybe, probably, is Pale Carnations. I jumped into Pale Carnations not too long ago. Actually, it was too long ago. It was earlier this year I jumped into Pale Carnations. And by Mutt and Jeff. Male, MC, slice of life, corruption, visual novel. Oh, did I cut it off? There we go. Sorry, cut it off. Pale Carnations. I really enjoy Pale Carnation. The problem that I have with Pale Carnations is, and again, if I'm not taking any development stuff into it, I feel like Pale Carnations is an A+ game. It's quite good. There's a lot of stuff for it. I'm not taking it into the dev cycle into account, but I think it's right along the lines with a A+ game. If you really enjoy the flavor. If you don't enjoy the flavor, that drops it down. And it drops it down quite a bit, actually. And so you're going to have people that range this from C all the way up to S. And you get the people who are thinking that's an S tier game are going to go crazy over it. And it's like, you can't play it. Yes, you can play it without a lot of flavor, but it's like, I mean, what's the point? To me, I'm like, if you don't play it with what's there, what's the point? For me, it's not my main flavors, but I don't hate them. So for me, I'm going to put that right into that kind of like, do I put it into, I like this more than some of these. I'm probably going to put this into A-. Yeah, I think it's an A- game. It's an A- game for me. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff there. If you don't enjoy the flavors as much, it's going to be kind of rough for you. I do love Hannah, though. Hannah's fantastic. Okay, we got Subverse. Subverse is awesome. I think Subverse is great. I think it's a solid A tier game for me. I think Subverse belongs right up here with some of these best of these games. Like, it is one of the few actual full RPG games we got. And I think the space combat better than the turn-based combat. I think the visuals are really good. I think the writing can be a little cringy. And I think that keeps it completely from being an S tier, but I think it's a damn good game. Subverse, because of all the options and gaming types, is total A+. See, I think the shoot 'em up space combat with the ship is so much more fun than the turn-based combat. But then again, I don't enjoy turn-based combat. I never even played a lot of the Final Fantasy games because I hate turn-based combat. I know, don't come after me, but all right, next we got Tales from the Unending Void by Pervatier. Tales is an interesting game for me. I feel like it does some things very, very well, and other things I feel like it doesn't do great. Like the pacing. The pacing of Tales from the Unending Void can be a little rough at times. Like, I know early on I played through it again because I was going to do a big review when it fully finished, and I honestly kind of just lost track of it. We almost have the second book release. Yeah, I think that will really determine where it goes. I do think, do I like Tales more than some of these other games in B tier? I think I do. Do I think it's better than Euphoria? I do. Do I think it's better than MBML, No Such Luck, Mythos, and Between Two Worlds? I do not. I think it's a B+ right now. I think there's some issues with the storytelling and the pacing, but I think the visuals, I think the setting, I think everything feels really, really cool. Especially if you love the sci-fi futuristic space stuff. This is also, you know, I think it's a good game. It's not my favorite. All right, we got Ravager, which has so much more content since the last time I jumped in, and I've been playing through that. And man, Ravager is a brutal game. I love it. It's rough, but it reminds me a lot of Pale Carnations in some ways. But I think Ravager, for what you're getting, if you love this, I think Ravager is right up there with some of the best. I think Ravager is an S tier game. I think the storytelling, I think the visuals, I think the choices. I love the choose your own adventure style. I think if you can go down multiple different paths. Ravager's awesome, but Ravager is a fantastic game. Like, if you have yet to play it, you should, especially if you like the more hardcore horror stuff. If you can handle it. Let's just say that. If you can handle it, you should absolutely play it. Yeah, it is a completely unique game. I don't think there's another game like Ravager. All right, moving on to City of Broken Dreamers. And when we talk about having pacing issues, City of Broken Dreamers is beautiful. I love the story. I love a lot of the characters, but there's pacing issues. It can be slow. Do I like City of Broken Dreamers more than I like Tales from the Unending Void? I do. Do I like it more than actual roommates and Law School and Zero End? At the moment, I do. It's right up there, I think, an A tier game for me. I think it's an A tier game. But that's the thing. If you could absolutely, I think, cut out some of the fluff a little bit from City of Broken Dreamers, it would be absolutely up there in A S tier. I don't think, do I like City of Broken Dreamers as much as some of the games in A+? No, I don't. If you know, have to sit down, gun to my head, would I rather play Wildcats or City of Broken Dreamers? I'd rather play Wildcats. Project Passion, rather play Project Passion. You know what I mean? And so I love, City of Broken Dreamers is great. Is it as good as some of the other games up here? I don't think so. Do I think it's right along the lines with like Best and Snowstorm? Yes. I think it's right along that. The next one is Ripples. And Ripples, as of late, jumped into that S tier for me. Ripples is a little blurry. I don't know why it's a little blurry on here. Ripples is so good. I love the characters. I love... Darcy is one of, if not my favorite character in any of these games. Like, she's up there absolutely as one of my favorites. She's just such an awesome character, and I think Ripples is fantastic. It's Ripples by Gesture, if you're not familiar. Visual novel, male MC, sci-fi, kind of time travel. Yeah, you had a little problem with the latest episode, but yeah, I could see it as S, although it's Honey Select. Yeah, I mean, I love Honey Select. I think Honey Select is great. I don't think it always is great. I think it depends on the dev. I mean, but S easy for Ripples. I don't think there's much more to talk about. All right, now for anyone who doesn't want to know, now we're getting into the NTR section. This is the stuff that, you know, if you were like, absolutely, I don't even want to hear it, well, then this is your opportunity to bail. I don't want to make you guys go through it if you don't want to hear about it. But this is the NTR games section where I put all the NTR games from my list that I put together, because as far, even like kind of like Pale Carnations or like Ravager, for instance, a lot of the corruption themes are not my major go-to, but I can appreciate a game even like Pale Carnations when they do it really well. A lot of these games do them relatively well. Okay, so the first one is Secret Care Cafe. Secret Care Cafe by Rare Alex. It's a business management, some optional NTR, which is why it's kind of loose on this list. It's a business management game. I think it's decent. I don't think it's special, and it's a little bit grindy. There's optional NTR in it, Sync. It is something that you can kind of go down that path a little bit. I think it is a pretty decent game. I think it's kind of there in that B- tier. Secret Care Cafe right now is a cool business manager game. It's a bit grindy though. All right, so next we have A Perfect Marriage. And A Perfect Marriage by Mr. Palmer. Male MC, female MC, mostly Rare stuff. And A Perfect Marriage is a super, super interesting game. It's one of the more unique ones that I've actually seen. I have to be honest with you, I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the others on this list. I know that some people, I think if you get Sen here, he would tell me I'm crazy. Some people consider it the absolute best game in the genre as far as Rare stuff go. I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay, but I did like how he went from the male MC and then switched to the female MC in the next like season. And then the third is kind of a joint for them both. Really cool, really interesting. But you know, I think it's okay. I'm gonna put that in the kind of B tier. Yeah, I think it's a B tier game. I'm kind of hedging a little bit because I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was all right. And so, do I think it was mediocre? No, if you like the flavor, right? I know some people swear by A Perfect Marriage. I think it was all right. And I think that's mostly because of the visuals a little bit. I think they can be a bit janky. But I thought the story was interesting enough, and I thought the writing was decent enough as well. We're moving on to some of the better ones in my view. Steps of Debauchery. We got Steps of Debauchery by Foxy Games. And female MC visual novel slice of life corruption. Kind of Rare and Rase, you know? I'd say more Rare than Rase from my experience. But it is also most likely the best looking game on this list. Steps of Debauchery is so pretty, and I'm not a big fan of female MC games. I've never really enjoyed them that much. I prefer in any of these games, I prefer to have mostly the male MC, but even in Steps of Debauchery, I enjoyed this one. I think it right now, I'm not quite done with the last bit of the content of it, but from what I've played, I've enjoyed. I think it's right there in that kind of A- range. I don't think, like when I'm looking at it, do I think it's better than Pale Carnations? No, you know what? I think I might need to bump up Pale Carnations. I think I keep looking at this and I'm like, I'm gonna bump up Pale Carnations to A, simply because I do think Pale Carnations does a lot of stuff better and more uniquely than some of these other games do, but these games are still great. I do think Steps of Debauchery is kind of A- at the moment. Could that jump up? Yes, but it's in the A range. I think it's a good game. All right. Moving on to Tenants of the Dead by NTR Man. And Tenants of the Dead is probably the most unique. It's the day-night cycle where you it is zombie apocalypse. You're stuck in your apartment with your girlfriend and you have to go out. You go out, either interact with your girlfriend, you go into the building, or you could go out into the world and you have to survive. You have to get a weapon, and it is really just choose your own adventure heavy. Is it perfect from a technical standpoint? I did find some bugs, but I think Tenets of the Dead, I couldn't stop playing it. And I not because I'm necessarily an NTR fan, but because horror. I wanted to see all the endings. The endings are messed up. And because of that, I thought it was great. The gameplay cycle was a bit too grindy for your liking. I agree. I thought that's the kind of style of game it is. It's very grindy. But I did enjoy how even basic decisions, I was for sure being like, okay, I'm going to get a good ending here. And even the good ending, like I got a bad ending. There was only one ending I got that was actually good. So I think for horror fans or NTR fans, especially if you like Rare stuff, I'm going to put that into A-. I think it's right along the lines of the Detective Servant and the Kaiju Princess. Yeah, I thought it's like, if you really are either a masochist or you like horror, it's for you. Try it out. Next one is Harmony Haven by Respirit. Visual novel, male MC, literally every type of NTR in this, but it's a bit early, unfortunately. What I played, it felt like it was barely getting started. I enjoyed Harmony Haven more than I enjoyed A Perfect Marriage. But right now, I'm going to have to put in the too soon range, even though I thought what I played was good. It just feels like it barely gets started when the content ends. So that's I got to put it there. All right. Moving on to Moon Ripple Lake. And this is the one and only AI game that I have on this list. And I was really torn from this. It's by Banana Cream Games. It's mostly Rase, but some optional Rai in there. And this is a big if. Some people will see AI and they will run away screaming. Everything else about this game is done well. Everything else. If they didn't have the AI visuals, I think this could be a high A or S tier game depending. It is very, very good with what it does, especially if you like the Rase flavor, for instance. But it's AI, so that's going to drop it down a little bit for me. I'm going to put that in A. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put that in A-, because Moon Ripple Lake is really, really good if you like the stuff. It's really, I think the girls are great. I think your relationship with your girlfriend is great. I don't actually like the supernatural element with it. It's a bit weird. There's a bit of a supernatural element in it. I'm like, do I have to play this part? But, you know, it is good for what you get. And for the NTR fans, you're going to like that one. All right, we got 3 left. Adelaide Inn. It's another one by NTR Man. That's Rare and Rase mostly. You play a bar or innkeeper in some sort of fantasy past, and your bar isn't doing well. And to make the money for your bar, your wife might do some things, if you get my drift. The Adelaide Inn was surprisingly fun, I thought, because again, it's another branching one, but I can't call it, like, it's not necessarily great or anything like that. It was good for an NTR game. I think it was better than A Perfect Marriage personally, but I don't think it was as good as Moon Ripple or Steps of Debauchery. So yeah, I think Adelaide right there in B+, if you like that one. All right, now we got one of my personal favorites, and that's Long Story Short by T-Trick Games. Visual novel. This has every type in it. And long story short, I love this game, but there are so many issues with it that it's hard for me to... What is this music? I'm changing that. That's better. All right, long story short is, again, not taking development cycle into account. It's a good game. Is it a great game? No. Could it be if the dev had an editor and kind of reined him in from basically feature creep a little bit? I call it story creep, but it could be. I think long story short is right along there. Oh, probably right along there with Moon Ripple and Tenets of the Dead. It's a good game. I really enjoy it, but long story short, keeps it from being any higher because of how the developer can't stop adding content and then taking forever. Like, I know I don't want to take the dev cycle into it, but I'm like, because of what he does with his development cycle, it can feel a little disjointed at times, especially if you want to go down a more monogamous route. Yes, long story short, T-Trick Games, it's a male MC. Correct, Zinc. Yep. But it is good for what you like, especially if you like the flavor. Any places that you guys think that I should change? This is the list. Got through them all. Only took 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, any places that you think that I made that I should shift. So let's look through it. Got the S tier. It's really popular in Australia. Chasing Sunsets is an S tier game, you think? I think it could be. I don't think it's... I need to finally finish everything. You want to fight about a foreign world, you put Euphoria above it. Let me see. Foreign world, I put Euphoria above it. I'm sorry to say this, Rasser, but I like Euphoria more than I like the foreign world. I can't do it. I can't put it above it. I don't think A Foreign World was a better game. I think A Foreign World was more boring. Yeah, it has a story, but it's not that good of one. It's like, it's just boring. It's like, I think Chasing Sunsets, could that be an S tier game? I think it could be. I don't know. Okay, so why do I not have it? Why do I not have it in the S tier? I don't know. You put Pale Carnations higher, but the rest I've not played. SC has enough tiers. I don't know. Do I think it belongs in the S? Do I think it's a better game than? I mean, I feel like at this point we're splitting hairs whether it's an S tier or it's an A tier. You think Between Two Worlds is also A? See, okay. So the reason that I don't think Between Two Worlds is an A tier game at the moment isn't because I didn't enjoy it. Between Two Worlds is a fun game. I thought the ending was okay. I thought the ending was it was appropriate for the game. Do I think it was surprising or emotional in any possible way? No, I don't. I thought it was nice. I thought it was fine. I thought the visuals for Between Two Worlds weren't as good as many of the other games on this list, but I did enjoy the D&D setting. I enjoyed the story. I thought it was good, but I don't think Between Two Worlds, outside of the writing, was better than a lot of the other games on this list. I thought it was good. It was, I think B+, Between Two Worlds is a good game. Is it a special game? Did not think so. You got from the Between Two Worlds what you expected? Yeah, and that's kind of what it was. I felt standard. Chasing Sunsets is better than Eternum. Oh, no, I don't think so. If we take Tears out of the equation, can SS move up? Are you talking about Snowstorm? If we take Tears out of it? No. I think Snowstorm is a good game, and I think it belongs where it is. Law School in the trash? Absolutely, yes. There you go, Big Bat. Right now, I'm trying to think. I keep moving up. I mean, do I? Yeah, I do think Pale Carnations belongs in the A. I keep moving it up. It does not belong in S. I do not think it belongs in S, but I do think it belongs in the A+. Because it is really good. Yeah, I do think Pale Carnations belongs there. Chasing Sunsets, it is so close for me. I wish I should have put in S-. All right, we'll put Chasing Sunsets in the S. It would be S-. Here, all right, let's do, there we go. S-. There we go. What did I do? There we go. All right. You got your own category. Because is it as good as some of these other games? I think it's close. Is it better than like Race of Life and Intertwined? I do think so. So I think this is kind of where it goes. Okay. Any other things that you think I was terribly off with? You think Neverwhere Tales, you preferred Neverwhere Tales to Pale Carnations? Okay, so did I enjoy Neverwhere Tales as much or even more than Pale Carnations? Probably. Do I think Pale Carnations is better at the moment? I do. I think that's it. All right, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I feel like I need to stop talking. So here's the list. Thank you everyone for joining. It is time for me to finish up Chasing Sunsets and actually do a final review at some point. I will, I promise, I will. All right, see you guys. Until next time.